Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. A majority of Brazil's Supreme Court voted on Thursday against a cutoff date limiting indigenous land claims, a restriction sought by the powerful farm lobby to block rights to land that indigenous people did not live on in 1988. The court said 9 of its 11 justices rejected the deadline because it countered constitutional guarantees on indigenous rights to ancestral lands. 2 judges voted for the limit to end land conflicts and gave farmers security on land settled over the years in Brazil's fast-expanding agricultural frontier. Brazil has 1.6 million indigenous people, according to the latest census, half of whom live on ancestral lands that they say are vital to preserving their cultures and languages, mainly in the Amazon, but also in farm states. Indigenous group protesting against the proposed deadline for land claims celebrated the court decision, dancing and chanting outside the Supreme Court in Brasilia. President Nicolas Maduro said Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago have signed a profit-sharing agreement to export gas from the PDVSA-owned Dragon offshore project. The project, which was halted in 2020 due to U.S. sanctions, entails using a field in Venezuela waters to produce natural gas, which will be imported by the West Indies nation to be processed for export. Venezuela has been organizing its gas blocks all over the Caribbean. The deal, which could see the country exporting gas by 2025, involved transporting supplying to Trinidad's Atlantic LNG plant via a Shell-owned offshore platform. U.S. cities such as New York have been struggling to shelter thousands of migrants arriving from South America. Venezuelans seeking asylum in the U.S. who are already living in the country will be allowed to work legally under the new rules announced by the Biden administration. About 472,000 people will be eligible for Temporary Protected Status, TPS, for a period of 18 months. It follows call by the Democrats to expand work access for newly arrived migrants. U.S. cities have been grappling with large numbers fleeing economic and political turmoil in Venezuela. People must have been living in the U.S. on or before July 31 to be eligible for temporary deportation relief and access to work permits under the TSP. If granted, they will be allowed to work while they wait for asylum determination to be made. Some 243,000 Venezuelans already have the status stemming from a 2021 policy that was renewed last year. Thank you for watching. I am TIANA.